Right, like that tank over there is very impressive.
Terminator.
The
Yeah.
Terminator tank. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I actually did all the 3D modeling for that one and did the kit breakdown on that. So I was actually fortunate to get access to the original Hero tank at Fantasy 2. I contacted them, said, hey, we're interested in doing a kit, you know, is there any way, you know, you could get me any reference for that? And so they allowed me to come down, and I spent the day with the original tank. It's about 4 feet tall, about 8 feet long.
Nice.
And they had it stuck in the corner with buckets and, you know, dust and tarps on it, and I'm like, oh,
Why would you do that?
it's like priceless, you know, movie prop here, and it's
Right.
you know, just stuck in the. But to them, it's just another thing at work.
Yeah.
You know, they build them, they film them, and they're done.
They put it on eBay.
Yeah,
They get a small
exactly.
fortune.
So I was able to pull it out. I cleaned it up, and I got out with my rulers and my video camera, and spent about 3 or 4 hours just videoing, measuring the original prop. And then came back here and basically
Tried to recreate it.
Yeah, recreated it. So it's really, really accurate. The only differences are tooling issues. That, you know, some things you can't tool quite the same because you got limitations in the molding process and stuff like that. But it's extremely accurate piece, and we're real proud of it. One of our most impressive pieces that we have until we release this piece.
The Randy Cooper.
The Randy Cooper piece, which is going to be phenomenal. It's,
Right.
300 plus pieces. It's
Wow.
got. It's going to have resin figures and photo etch and the gold
I was telling
foil.
him, too bad you don't have it now, because that'd be going home with me.
Yeah, so we're super excited about doing that one, and that'll be our most impressive piece by far.
Right.
Just in the quantity of parts and the tooling, the complexity, the
Oh,
multimedia
it looks
aspect
good right
of it.
there.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. And, you know, it's going to have full decal sheet, and you got interior, you know, control panel stuff, and
Well, on a piece like that, did you guys happen to come across Randy's work and pursue
yeah,
him? Or?
yeah, actually I did. I came across Randy's website. Actually, I had bought some of his kits over the last few years. I bought one of his big tripod, War of the World guys. That was back when I was just a fan of it, let alone, you know, getting to do the model, which was really kind of cool after, you know, being a fan of the design. But I came across, you know, his website and started looking at his designs, and we were talking about doing a line of kits based off of just artist designs. And we thought, you know, hey, we could come out with an artist line of, you know, which we call our artist signature series of kits, which includes like our Nautilus model, which is a Greg DeSantis design.
Right.
The
Seeing
Nautilus
it
with the
built,
squid and stuff.
seeing it built versus the box is, you don't get an idea what that model's like when you look at the box.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a much better model.
yeah, it's really in person. It's much more impressive, and
Yeah.
you know, and it's got its photo etch, and it comes with a squid base, which I sculpted, by the way. But so that was kind of our start of our signature line. Mine was, I got my Mercury 9 rocket. That was the Scott signature piece. But so then we thought, well, you know, let's do something that's really impressive if we're going to make a mark in the modeling industry, you know, and really take a piece of the pie from these guys. You got to make something that stands out and is kind of impressive to get the attention.
Right.
You know, all the other pieces, they'll kind of ride the coattails and, you know, take advantage of that piece that drew you to the booth or whatever it may be. And
Well, that should do it.
yeah, so Randy's piece is that's going to be a good one, and we're almost ready. We're almost in production on it. We're just, you know, getting the final sources for the wiring and, you know, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so we spread it out a bit with our subject matters. You know, we got our like great white and some of the dragon stuff.
Those dinosaurs look great in that case.
Yeah, the dinosaurs are really good. done by a sculptor in Mexico that we've used off and on. He sculpted the relic piece for us.
Okay.
He also did the Vermithrax Dragon Slayer dragon for us.
That one.
Yeah,
It looks good
so he
too.
did that. I had to fix it, by the way. I have to fix all their stuff, which I don't get credit for. But I'm just telling you now, that's how they end up that way. But
I've shied away from that Dragon Slayer kit because I'm afraid of painting it.
yeah, it's actually fairly forgiving. I mean, things like that where they're kind of animals.
Well,
got a lot
what's
of room
surprising
for
is
error.
I'm not afraid of the dinosaur kit, but I'm afraid of the Dragon Slayer, which doesn't make any sense.
Not so
does
much,
that?
not so
No,
much.
because the paint job on that dinosaur would be much more complex.
Yeah, well, actually, the guy that built those is a real big dinosaur enthusiast back east, and
You can tell the love is in
Shane,
there.
is it Shane Fawkes, I believe it is. I don't know if you're familiar with
No.
any of his stuff, but he's a phenomenal painter. And
Like I said, you can see the love in those kits.
yeah, there was definitely a lot of effort put into them and stuff. And
When you guys have pursued your film properties, has there been anything that just you really want to do and fell through, or are there particular?
yeah, there's been a lot. Actually, I actually approached. I believe it was Fox about the 2001 Space Odyssey license before we started this, because we were interested in doing some of the Kubrick models. And basically what I got back was a big nasty letter about how legally they'll chew us up and spit us out. But thanks for your interest.
But then someone like Captain Cardboard or Time Slip, or there's one other guy, AJ Models. You can do garage kits of those.
Right.
Seemingly fine
and mainly because they fly under the radar a bit with them.
Right.
They're not doing big quantities, so I don't think some of the licensors go after them because they figure, it's small potatoes. It's not worth our lawyers' cost to go after that. But once you start getting into injection kits, you're looking at thousands of pieces.
Have them in hundreds of stores across the country.
And
that's a big difference.
Frank at Mobius had re-released some Aurora pieces that were from the 2001 stuff, but he kind of snuck it in as an Aurora reissue and didn't really put 2001 on the box and some of these, the little tricks you do, because it wasn't new tooling. He kind of, flew under the radar a little bit with that, but. We've looked at doing quite a bit. We were looking at possibly getting like the Transformers license to do some of the the robots, but
They have one in Japan. There's
Japan
a couple
has
of companies
few.
make them in Japan.
But Paramount basically said that Hasbro handles 100% of the licensing of that, and then you have to go to them. We've approached Disney before about doing the original Nautilus design from the original film, and before they would even talk to us, they wanted like my family history and the history of every family that ever worked in this store, and every financial, how much you pay for gas this morning. I mean, it was unbelievable, the paperwork they sent back. They didn't even want to know what I was interested in, because that way we can't claim they took our idea, and all that kind of stuff. And it was.
I heard Round 2 had trouble just trying to get the old Pirates of the Caribbean plastic.
Oh, I believe it.
Disney wouldn't talk to them at all. That's Round 2.
And that's Round 2, and they're a very reputable company. So they can be tough, and so that's why you'll see most of ours are Paramount properties. We got our foot in the door, and we were able to deliver good product to them, and they were pleased with us. We were always late, but one of the things is, hey, they'll always forgive you if you're late, but they'll never forgive you if it's bad. So if you take the time, if you're late, hey, that's one thing, but it better be good. And so we've been able to deliver for them, and it opened the door for these other properties. In fact, the Terminator stuff came through an agent that used to work at Paramount that I kind of kept in touch with, and she went to a different place and had new contacts and came back and said, hey, would you be interested in Terminator? And that Tarzan kind of came around the same way, and You know, so you build these little cliques, you know, with these people, but you know, when they leave, it's a big hit. You know, it's a big hit to us because, you know, my approvals, you know, take forever, and
just having to build all that groundwork again must be
yeah,
terrible.
and then you convince them that we're worthy to, you know, to take on these properties and put their name on our box, and you know, and all that kind of stuff. So